if you've got something prepared, then. Yep, yep. I think that's probably it. If you've got something prepared, then we'll do that instead. So 3 minutes to kick off on the topic, and then we'll talk to the questions. Okay.
I'll just be sitting right there.
Lovely.
Do you need anything else? Okay. I'm going to wait for Paul, and then I'll shuffle him in as soon as he arrives.
All right, welcome to this panel. The topic of this panel is state surveillance of online communications. How do we balance national security concerns with the fundamental rights of individuals? So are there any librarians in the audience? Okay, I bet you never thought you'd hear the President of the United States talk about metadata. I mean, metadata was the domain of librarians for a long time. And it's passed into the currency of general discourse over the last few months. I guess I'm going to talk a little bit of introduction, scene setting. We've got 4 panelists. We're going to have a conversation on the panel, and we're going to take some interactions from the audience as well. But just in terms of my introduction, the incidents over the last few years, such as the Uruwera raids, the Kim.com raid, and the Kitteridge Report into GCSB, have actually resulted, and international trends as well, have resulted in the government proposing 2 new pieces of legislation which are under discussion at the moment. And I'll just give you the brief description of each of them. The first is the Government Communications Security Bureau and Related Legislation Amendment Bill, which is an omnibus bill that proposes amendments to the GCSB Act of 2003, the Inspector General of Intelligence Security Act of 1996, and the Intelligence and Security Committee Act of 1996. The purposes of the bill are to make clear the statutory framework governing the activities of the GCSB and to enhance the external mechanisms for the oversight of New Zealand's intelligence agencies. The hearings were on last week, and some of them were televised. And there's a number of people here who made submissions, and we're now in the phase of political negotiations, which is being reported daily on the news. The second one is the Telecommunications Interception Capability and Security Bill. And the main objectives of that bill are to ensure, firstly, that the intercept obligations imposed on telecommunications industry are clear and reflect the changing industry structure, do not impose unnecessary compliance costs, and are sufficiently flexible to match today's operational needs and future technology developments. And secondly, to ensure that network operators are obliged to engage with government on network security matters where they may raise a risk to New Zealand's national security or economic well-being, inform the government of network decisions that may be of particular national security interest, and work with the government to apply any required risk-based and proportionate security measures. Submissions were closed in the mid-June, and hearings of the bill are taking place right now in the Select Committee in Parliament. So a number of people who would be able to contribute to this discussion are actually there. In my view, the combination of these 2 pieces of legislation change the rules covering government surveillance in New Zealand, including making it legal to spy on New Zealand citizens and extending the obligation to intercept communications, extending that obligation from network operators like Telecom and Chorus to service providers, and adding the power to prevent service providers from reselling services in New Zealand. So the discussion has been wide and has been deep on this topic, and I think it's been very polarizing as well. Generally, it's a trade-off between privacy and national safety or national security.